Welcome back again. So this time we're going to look at a tool that honestly I'm going to kind of gloss over here. I want to address it because it's there, and there are some uses for it, but I don't find this to be the most useful tool. And this is basically, there's a color options here. So if we click on this, there we go. Yeah, I say that. Now it's taking its sweet time. Come on. There we go. All right, so there's a color tool here. This is really kind of only applicable for those Braille printers we kind of sort of already mentioned that would do color, or a dot height for their tactile graphics based off color. Or possibly if for some reason you wanted to print this out on a printer, you could theoretically do that if you wanted to. Anyway, but the uses for these for kind of creating tactile graphic is kind of small. And truthfully, even if you do have a Braille printer that does the multiple dot heights, there is actually a different feature inside TactileView that I'm going to recommend over using color to do your different dot heights, because color is not exactly precise. Basically, those printers that again are doing those multiple dot heights, they really just grayscale things, and they turn it into dark colors or high dots and light colors or low dots, and that's really all there is to it. There is a different setting, which we'll talk about in just a moment, called relief dot height, that can also manually control your dot height, and I think that's a better way to go. So going to just gloss over this so you kind of know what it is. You kind of have an informational option here. You have check colors in image, which really is only helpful if you're using the color replacement tool, at least if you ask me, but you can basically click on this, and you should notice that when you do that, there we go. In the upper right hand corner, you get this like number of colors, which since I clicked on the white area is basically 0, or if I click on a black area, and we'll anyway, it doesn't really do much for us here. But you can basically, if you are trying to maybe replace a certain color with another color, you can use this kind of question mark tool, like what color is this? Go click on said color area. It would say, oh, it's this, and you can say, okay, I want to go replace that color with a different color. Then they have a flood bucket. So you can choose this and then choose whatever color you want to fill with, or they kind of have that kind of spectrum kind of thing. You can choose whatever color you want, or just some basic colors here. So let's say, I don't know, I want to do lime green for fun. I'll go click on this porthole here. It takes a moment, and then voila, it has filled my porthole area on my rocket ship with that color green. You can move down. Again, they have that color replacement that I referred to. So if you do have color within your graphic, and maybe you want to say switch it out for a different color, you can say, oh, I would like to replace said color with this color, and it kind of gives you an option to choose those colors. They also have an option for color profiles. Again, this is kind of getting off into the weeds, but if you had color profile within a graphic, you can choose different ones to work with. You can apply a color profile that you've created to a graphic, and then you can also choose a minimum kind of fill or flood area size for a shape as well. And then they have this option for if you're using the flood bucket and you have an area that has no border, kind of like the edge of the paper, it won't do a fill on it, for example. So just kind of a handful of just pretty basic, honestly, color options here. And again, you're really only going to use those in those very specific scenarios. But I did want to just cover this really quickly because it is in here and it is interesting. And certain Braille embossers can take advantage of this. So if you're one of those ones who have used maybe those Tiger or their View Plus embossers and like or prefer doing your dot heights based off of color, you can do that. There is also, again, even more niche. There are some View Plus, or a lot of people call the View Plus embossers Tiger embossers. There's 2 embosser models they make that can do ink and Braille, and they can do color ink and Braille. So if you were doing color ink and Braille tactile graphics together, then of course using the color option would make sense for that, because it would be printing the color and doing the Braille together. But that's even more niche. So that's why the options exist in here, is for those embossers that can utilize it, but those are rarer models, we'll say, but you do have those features there. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up here, and we'll move on to the next one. We'll see you in the next video.